Welcome to your weekly Open the Door to Tai Chi lesson. Principles, those underlying ideas, are what really bring the benefits of Tai Chi. So we want to focus on the principles, but it's hard to get them all at once. And we can focus one at a time, but we've been doing a series now of focusing 3 at a time, trying to get your brain to focus on more than just one and really start to figure out how the principles work together. So today we're going to use the 3 principles of moving from the Tian, letting your Tian be the leader, substantial and insubstantial, knowing where your weight is, being able to distinguish which side is empty, which side is full. Excuse me. And then we're also going to add the idea of continuous movement. That's what's really unique about Tai Chi, is that it flows like water. Once that movement starts, it's not a start and stop kind of thing. We want that motion to be continuous. So let's really look at what those 3 principles, how they help each other and bring more benefit of relaxation and ease of movement to you. So let's look at wave hands like clouds first. So without stepping, thinking about letting the Tian lead. And this movement really lends itself to that idea of continuous movement, right? It flows, wave hands like clouds floating across the sky. But now when we add the idea of stepping, thinking about bringing that Tian over the side that's substantial, letting the other leg become insubstantial, and then we let this side fill. That Tian comes over that substantial side, and we step. If we start to think about how that Tian is leading this motion, and it's allowing that substantial and insubstantial to really be separate, that's helping keep that movement going. Now, it might look like we have continuous movement if we're not really distinguishing substantial and insubstantial. But if we move slowly enough, we don't want to just stop. We want that motion to keep going, but we're feeling the water flowing, letting one leg become completely empty, and then letting it fill completely. So even the sensation of that water flowing from one leg into the next, that is part of your continuous movement. Let's think about movement that we're not locomoting. We're moving, but we're not moving forward or back. We're not moving to the side. It's a ward-off sequence. Holding that ball, and we let the Tian lead this movement. Now the weight comes a little bit forward, and then the weight comes back as we roll back. So even though it's not 100% substantial, 100% insubstantial, right? You're still feeling that water flowing, and that's what's keeping the movement going with ward off. Let's go to part the wild horse's mane. Holding that ball to the right, we're stepping out, letting that weight come a little bit to the left, but then we rock back. And we let all the water come onto that left, so then we can step into the next movement. So there's your substantial and insubstantial flowing, right? Don't think that because my upper body might become temporarily a little bit not moving right here, not stiff, but I am allowing that substantial and insubstantial to keep my movement flowing. And if you add the idea of leading from the Dantian, again, just like wave hands like clouds, that Dantian coming over the base of support is what really helps with our balance. Remember, we're working on getting more benefit from doing our Tai Chi. If we can think about that Dantian being over the substantial side, that improves our balance tremendously. So let's think about snake creeps, pheasant stands. It's very easy to think of those as separate movements, kind of a start and stop, kind of staccato movement instead of a nice flowing movement. But if you think about letting the Dantian lead, realizing your substantial and insubstantial change, that will help that continuous flow even in this movement of snake creeps, pheasant stands. Remember that Dantian, it's over the left as our weight is on the left. As we step out and back, it turns and the weight shifts. We bring that Dantian over the right now, so the left can easily be lifted into that pheasant stance. With white crane spreads its wings in our 40 form and in the long form. Right, we're coming from that lifting hands position. The weight right now is on the left as we let the Dantian lead, and now we step out onto our right and let that left leg be empty. Now we can step right into our brush knee. So that movement of the Dantian helping us distinguish substantial and insubstantial is helping that continuous movement. And with our spinning lotus kick, the same thing, where we step, retreat, and ride the tiger. As we turn, this left becomes substantial, then the right becomes substantial, then the left, and we leave the weight in the left so that we can do that kick. If we weren't thinking about that substantial and insubstantial leading from the Dantian, remember back to columns, letting ourselves spin on that column, if we just think about, I'm going to turn, okay, it becomes a very staccato kind of movement and not graceful. We want that continuous flow. It actually helps our body relax and do the movement smoothly.